Hi Stampers, it's Nancy from StampinShout.com. I'm here today to share with you a technique that I just heard about. A friend of mine asked me about it. She showed me a card. She goes, "Do you know how to do this?" And I said, "No, but I'll find out." So it's the herringbone technique. This was the first card that I made using the herringbone technique. And we're going to make one today, except for I'm not going to use this paper. I actually made this because this paper was on one of the new items on Stampin' Up's clearance rack. So I made this card to showcase it, but the paper is gone. It was so popular that it sold out really, really fast. So make sure you check the clearance rack because the items do go fast. So if you see something you want, you got to get it quick. So that's the herringbone technique. I'm going to just change it up a bit. I am going to use strips of paper from the Peaceful Prints Designer Series paper. And that, if you don't know, was a celebration item. And I got a lot of extras, so I'm actually going to be offering 12 sheets of 6x6 pieces of the Peaceful Prints for the first few orders that I get after doing this video. So if you missed out on that, and you like this card and the way it turns out, you might want to check that out. So I'm going to put mine on a base of real red. Again, it's 11 by 4 1/4, and it's scored at 5 1/2. So it's going to open this way. Then I have white pieces for the front and the inside, and I have 2 pieces that are 5 1/4 by 4, and I have 2 pieces that are 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. So let's bring in the smaller piece of the white, so that's 5 1/4 by 4, and I also have a piece of adhesive that's an adhesive sheet, and it's cut the same, 5 1/4 by 4. So I'm just going to peel off the sticky. And then I'm going to attach this to my white piece. And there's several ways you can do this, and once I line this up, we'll talk about that. So I'm just going to make sure that's attached really well. Use your bone folder. I'm using a little ruler here. And then you're going to take off that top layer. And when you do, you'll have a nice little sticky piece of cardstock. Now the other way you could do that is you could use glue. So you could put glue on your card and go ahead and lay your strips, or you could put glue on the strips and adhere them. So then what I have are a bunch of strips, and I cut mine to a 1/2 inch by whatever scrap I had left. So some of them are 8 inches, some of them are 12 inches. The width can be 1/2 inch, it could be 1 inch, it could be 3/4 inch, it could be 3/8 of an inch, whatever you want. I think I'm going to bring in my silicone mat here. And I'm going to pick 3 of my prominent colors, or I'm going to pick 1 prominent color in 3 pieces and go ahead and start with that. So first thing I'm going to do is just lay a diagonal down here, just like that. Then I'm going to take another piece and lay a diagonal down here, just matching it up here at where they meet and bringing it on down. And then I'm going to go ahead and trim off the excess, but I'm not going to trim it perfectly. I'm not worried about that. Then I'm going to take 1 more piece and I'm going to lay that up here. Okay, so that's the start of it. Trim that off. We'll trim it better at the end. So then I'm going to take another color, whatever color that you think might go well, and I'm just going to line those pieces that we just did. So I'm just going to go like that. You could leave all the ends until the end, until you're all done, but I'm going to be reusing these pieces. So I'm just going to use them all. So as far as the pattern goes, you just have to wing it. You know, you're just gonna kind of look at it. I'm just making sure this is a straight cut. It's gonna butt it up right there and line it up. And I could continue with the same green, but I think I'll do a different green. Just mixing it all up. I'm not too sure how it's gonna look at the end, but this is the gist of it. And I'm pretty sure when I'm all done, it's gonna be very pretty. But what a great way to use your scraps, right? So I'm keeping the green next to the red, but they're different styles, different designs. And the adhesive, you do have time to lift it up, and if you change your mind or it doesn't lay straight. Okay, now for my next color, let's see here. I think I'll bring in this nice stripe. So I'm going to go ahead and continue this. I'll put it on fast so you guys don't have to watch every single piece that I'm laying down, and then we'll come back when I'm all done and I'll tell you how to finish it up. Okay, so now I'm all done laying pieces down, but there are a couple of little tiny pieces that are showing, and you're just gonna fill that in. So it's so tiny, I don't need to put a different design there. You could if you want, but it's not necessary. So I'm just gonna go ahead and lay some pieces down like that. Okay, so now I'm gonna flip it over and trim it down. So you're just gonna trim to that white cardstock, and I'll do that real quick, and then we'll come back and keep on going. Okay, so I trimmed the cardstock, and now I'm going to go ahead and adhere that to my card mat, which is just like 1/8 of an inch bigger. Going to center that. Okay, so that's going to go on our card base. What do you think so far? Pretty, huh? But let's decorate it up just a little bit. So I have a piece of real red, and what I did was I cut this out using the contour dies. So I used not the smallest one, but the next one. And then I also want a piece of white for the center. There's two ways you can do that. You can cut a second piece, the exact same size, and trim it, which I'll show you that. Or you can use your stitch rectangles, and that one also fits nicely inside. I'm going to use that stitched rectangle, but I just want to show you really quick how I did this one. So this is the same size, but I liked that I could get the rectangle size that I needed. And I just trimmed away the little scallop. And that's it. So this would fit perfectly. This will fit perfectly inside that little scallop, just like that. Okay? But like I said, I'm going to go ahead and use the stitched rectangle because I like that little stitching that's on there. And I'm going to bring in my Snowman Season stamp set and Memento ink. So really, again, I used scraps for my card, except for the card base and the white. And then I'm using black ink, so it doesn't take a lot of supplies. And I already have this all ready to go. So I'm going to take my 2 stamps. One says Let It Snow. Ink it up in that Memento ink. I'm going to stamp this right at the top. Like that. And then I'm going to bring in my little fun snowman who's playing in the snow. And I'm going to stamp that right underneath that Let It Snow. There you go. So let's put these 2 pieces together. Again, I'm going to snail that on there, or you could use glue. Put it right in the center of that pretty scallop. Just like that. And then I am going to pop it up on some dimensionals. So I haven't made this card exactly, so I'm still doing a little bit of thinking if I want to do something different. So let me take a peek. Just want to decide if I want to add anything else. And I really didn't want to add too much because this herringbone technique is just so pretty with all that pretty designer series paper. And again, it's the Peaceful Prince designer series paper. So I think I like it just like that. So I am going to just pop this up. Don't think I need a ribbon or anything else. Put that right in the middle. And then I'm going to adhere this to my card base. And that one's done. So bring in another one. Put that on our card base. Oh, I love the way this turned out. I'm very excited. And then for the inside, again, I got the matte piece. I can go ahead and lay that down. It's just 1/8 of an inch bigger. And the matte piece is purely optional. You could just put your white stamping piece on the inside. Okay, so now here's my stamping piece, and I'm going to bring in my Memento, and let's see, the other sentiment in here, hoping this season builds heartwarming memories, and Merry Christmas, and I'm going to use them both. Pretty font. And then we'll add the Merry Christmas. Okay, let's put this on the inside of our card and take a look at what we made. And you know what? I have a little piece of scrap left over, and I think I am going to put it at the bottom. Now, do I want the snow showing? Oh, I think I'll put the snowflake side showing. So let's just add a little bit of adhesive to that and put this right at the bottom. Or should I put it at the put it at the bottom? I already did it. Just like that. Okay, there's the card. Herringbone technique. Isn't that pretty? What do you guys think? Do you like it? Make sure to leave me comments. I will put some information down below so you know the supplies that I used and the sizes. And again, if you make a purchase with me, I am going to send out the Peaceful Prince Designer Series paper to the first 4 orders. So you'll get 6 by 6 and you'll get 12 sheets, and they're double-sided. And then you could make this exact same card, because that is the same Designer Series paper that I used. So I hope you like it. Come back soon. Don't be shy. Stamp and shout.